Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Second Act Cat RN. And I normally talk about things that relate to the second act. And this topic does relate to that, but it's more about my feelings about being on video. And it took me 2 years to start a YouTube channel with my face on it or doing videos because it's just one of those things I just couldn't bring myself to do. I don't know why. It's just that self-talk that we have when it's kind of negative self-talk. And so I wanted to explore my issues. I wanted to get real here and risk being judged because that's people do. I judge people. I'd rather not, but that's just a human thing that we do. And so a couple of the things I wanted to talk about that relate to me and making these videos is that my first thought was, maybe the first thought was, I didn't want my face out there. I didn't feel like I really presented well just because of, all the insecurities that we have. I have insecurities just like everybody else. And I had to kind of put those by the wayside. And how I did that was I watched a lot of videos, a lot of people, but a lot of people over 50. I watched a lot of videos from people over 50 years old. And I started to kind of compare myself in a way, kind of like a compare and contrast. Like, if he can do that, then I can do that. She doesn't look perfect. I'm not perfect. And if she can put herself out there like that, surely I can do that. So it took me a long time, 2 years, like I said, or a little bit longer actually, to get to where I felt comfortable to start a YouTube channel and putting videos up with myself in the videos. So one of the first thoughts I had about doing videos is that I'm too old. What would people think, younger people, if they're watching my videos and I don't have that youthful look like I used to have, and I'm more tired now and my brain is a little slower. So you wonder what people are going to think and what kind of judgment they're going to pass. So I also felt like people might not take me seriously. And I don't know why I thought that. The videos I watch with older folks on them, they're actually done quite well. It's not a perfect video and it's not professional, but they're just being real. And I don't know how you can judge someone in a bad way for being real, because it takes a lot to put yourself on camera and publish that to the world, pretty much. So, one of the other things in that, that I felt too old to make videos, one of the reasons why I figured people don't want to watch or might not watch is because of wrinkles. That's truth. That's the truth. Looking at ourselves on camera and seeing the wrinkles, the aging, because we're looking out from inside. We don't see that until we look in the mirror or the video. So when I looked at these other videos of older people, over 50, over 60, I've got videos that I watch. There's a gentleman over 80. He's 81 and he started a YouTube channel. That's kind of the catalyst that got me going, is I thought, if he can do that, he's 81, look at him go. And if he can do that and just talk about normal everyday things, I should be able to. I've got a little bit of youth on him. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go for it. So I don't have gray hair yet, but that's one of the things that I'm sure if I had gray hair, I'd worry about that, because you present differently. And I didn't want to be judged. You're judged because you're older, or you're judged because of this, or because you look like that, or you sound like this. So those are the things, along with, while I'm making a video, scratching my face. It never fails. During a video, things start to itch on my face. My nose, I have to clear my throat. My nose will start to run. It just feels like there's something going on as soon as I hit record. And the first couple times it happened, I'd stop the video in the past. When I first started making the videos, I'd stop the video and I'd start over after I scratched my nose. Well, then my dog would make noises. She'd be in the room with me, and she has a skin issue. We're trying different food for her, which is helping, but she still has times where she scratches. And she also will lick herself, and it just sounds disgusting, but she does that during a video. I hear that a lot of times in the background, and I thought I'm just gonna have to let that go because that's real. I can't make this perfect scenario where I speak on camera with no distractions, no noise, nothing. There was a day about a week ago, and I was doing a video. Over to my left kind of are 4 tall windows that look out into my driveway. So I saw someone, Amazon, delivering a package, and you can see in my windows if you look this way when you're in the driveway. So I didn't get up. I made a comment that Amazon or somebody was delivering a package, but this same day that I made that video, I had to stop and start it several times because I set alarms on my phone because of the brain injury, and I forget things. So an alarm went off on my phone. I forgot to check it to disable the alarm, the reminder. So that went off. So I had to start the video again because it stopped my video. So this one day there must have been 3 interruptions where I had to stop the video or it stopped itself. And I just gave up. I did it later or the next day, I think, but it is something that I worry about that I really shouldn't. And when I watch these other videos with these other older ladies and gentlemen, I see that they have interruptions as well. So I don't want to have to try to be perfect. I am a perfectionist. That comes into play, and it doesn't need to. So I'm just letting you know, you don't have to be perfect to make a video, and nobody else is. So if you think they are, you're just fooling yourself. That's just bad self-talk. You need to quit doing that and just get started. So the second thing, so the first thing is too old to make videos or to be on camera. The second thing is fear of being on camera and hearing yourself speak. When I hear myself speak when I'm watching a video, at first I thought that I'm not comfortable with that, but that's how I sound. So I know I've been hoarse in a lot of my first videos because I had a little upper and lower respiratory thing in November and beginning of December. But that watching myself, hearing myself, watching my mannerisms, it gets to me. You're just like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, I sound like that. And that's okay because that's how I sound. And these are normal things that a person does. I mean, I have to scratch. I have to move my hair. I have to rub my nose. I have to clear my throat or cough. That's okay. I struggled with it initially. I'm getting a little more comfortable with it. I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting a little more comfortable every time I do a video. So the next thing, besides those 2 that I mentioned already, is anxiety over technology. So I will say it was kind of a learning curve to a degree, not to a great extent, learning the technology, like editing videos. It took me, I research, so it took me a lot of research to figure out I'm a little bit slower than the young people that are doing it. And I've got to look things up. I've got to figure out, how do I make a shorts out of my regular long form video? So learning those things, teaching yourself, researching, watching other videos by other YouTube content creators, how they do it, or they explain how to do it. That has helped me greatly. There are so many valuable videos on YouTube by these other creators that it's a wealth of information. So the technology part, the anxiety over being slower with technology, that does ease up with time. I don't know if it ever goes away. I'm not there yet. So I just know that I got distracted. There's a squirrel climbing a tree. So I get to see all the wildlife out in my yard with tons of trees. But anyway, I'm not perfect, and I'm not 100% comfortable yet in everything that I do or say on a video, but it's a lot better than when I did the first video. So, we just have to deal with it. And my suggestion is to watch a lot of videos by other creators and just get a feel for what they do, how they act, how they sound. They're normal. They're down to earth. Nobody's perfect, and I can't have this perfect setup and expect things to go flawlessly without any interruptions or any issues. So I have started videos again. I've stopped them. I've edited some. I let it play, and I've made my blunder or my mistake, and then I've cut that out. So I have learned to edit. That has helped me with technology. The videos I watched from other creators where they go through step by step how to do things, editing wise or video wise, has been so valuable. So the next thing that I think we worry about when we do videos, and I know I do, I've heard others talk about this as well, other creators, and it's fear of criticism or trolls. I know throughout my life, I've probably been a little overly fearful of criticism. I don't know why, but it's gotten less and less as I've gotten older. I've seen, when I see these other older creators make their video or present their videos, and when I'm watching them, I'm not feeling critical of them. And I don't understand how people who are trolls can do that or can be that way, because there's no point in doing that. If you're trolling my videos, you will get deleted. So just FYI, I want this to be a pleasant experience for people. If they want to comment on my videos, if you guys get anything from my videos, I want it to be a pleasant experience. So I do worry about trolls or criticism, but it's a little lower on the list now. Probably it's under me worrying about myself being on video or the way I sound. So the trolls, that's a little bit lower down, so I'm not as worried, but I do still think about that and have a little bit of fear about it. So the next one, and this is one I think about, but I have heard other content creators talk about this. When you're afraid that nobody's going to view your videos. You're going to do these videos, you're going to post them, publish them, no one's going to watch them. And that, I had to get over that by watching and listening to what these other creators say. When you put aside the desire to have a lot of likes and a lot of subscribers, when you put that away and you just worry about the content and who you might be affecting, who might benefit from your videos, to me, that's more important. If you get some value out of what I say, or you learn one little thing, to me, I've accomplished what I've wanted to do. And the rest would just be icing on the cake. If that happens, it happens. If not, I'm having a really good time coming up with topics and doing the videos for my channel. So the fear of the trolls and the fear of the criticism, or the fear of if no one watches, these are things that we have to just kind of put back. Don't excuse me. Now there's a real moment of burping on camera. But you have to put away the if no one watches, the fear of that, and just get out there and do it. So another thing is not being interesting enough. So the topics I talk about are generally related to nursing. Not everyone wants to watch a video about something nursing related. So I feel like if it's the right audience, they're going to be interested in it. So if I'm targeting nurses or retirees or nurses who are retiring or someone starting a second act, then they might watch my videos. It would be of interest to them more than likely. And, you know, all you can do is what you're doing. You can hope that your message gets out, but it doesn't matter, you know, if you're interesting enough or not. I watched a video from an older woman in her 70s, and she just looked normal. She didn't have a professional sound to her voice. She didn't present professionally. She just was natural. It was all her, just her. Nothing fake. And that's what I liked. I like that these presenters or these content creators, the certain ones that I like to watch, are being, you know, realistic. And I have my other cat trying to get over here on my lap. So let me see if I can get her and I'll show her to you. All right, here we go. This is Mama Kitty. Look up, say hi. She has an RBF. So she is a grumpy cat face, and she sounds like a grumpy cat. She's just old. But anyway, the not being interesting enough thoughts, now I have cat hair on me, the fact that sometimes we think we're not interesting, or what can we contribute? Who would want to watch what we have to say? Who'd want to hear, you know, I don't have anything of benefit to say. Well, we do. You know, somebody might be maybe having a bad day or a down day or contemplating starting a channel on YouTube. And for those of us that try to be real and try to be not perfect, just who we are, that might be what makes that person decide to go for it. Because they're seeing, that worked for me. You're seeing other people, just go for it. They're not anything special. They're just normal people. And they have things of value to say. I've lived a life for 64 years. Life, not a lie. I have lived a life for 64 years. And there is something valuable in all of these years of experience, wisdom, knowledge. There's got to be at least one thing somebody might be able to benefit from. So I would just encourage you to make that video, get out there and do it. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. You're never going to be perfect. So if you wait for that time to come, it's never going to get here. I waited 2 years, and I finally, really watching the older gentleman that's 81 years old, watching his channel, I think that was what gave me the little kick in the rear to just do it. So my suggestion would be to watch a lot of videos on creators your own age or the age range, you know, around your age and older, and just see what they do. It's not hard. It really isn't hard at all. It's a mind thing. And I think when we let our minds go there too much, spend too much time there, and that thinking and the negative thoughts, then that prevents us from taking that leap. So just take the leap. Don't worry about views and subscribers. Just do it. Get experience and just do it. So that's today's video, and I will see you on the next one.